Hello, thanks for being here. This is my video covering what I did to prepare for the Dawnlands Larp, which is a LARP that takes place in London, Kentucky. This doesn't cover like our packing or anything, it was kind of just like my art projects that we did before we went. Right now you can see I'm working on a sign that I originally made a couple of games ago, but I decided to repaint it this time with our mercenary crew. So in this LARP we have a household, or Kyle and I do, and so our household is called Heroes by Proxy, and so I kind of made the sign to go outside of our campsite, so it was like very clear like where our campsite was compared to everyone else's. Yeah, so I did this all with like stencils, where I kind of just put the stencil down. I had a little like reference sheet that I went off of, but so I just put the stencil down and then I went and dabbed black on top of it, and then I went and hand painted a few things because I'm not great at lettering, but I wanted some of them to kind of look like they were just like added last minute. And then here I am just clear coating it with a UV spray. I really like Plastidip's clear UV protectant, so that's what I'm using here to just kind of protect it. And then this whole sign, it was made out of pallets, but then it was completely painted over a couple of times, so everything's sealed inside anyway, so I really just went right over our words. So now I'm starting on my sewing project. So this is using Simplicity pattern 5749, which is like the basic cloak pattern. This is what I use to make what I consider my signature cloak, where instead of being closed all the way around, every single panel is completely open, just because in this LARP I'm an archer, so I wear a quiver and I need to be able to shoot without everything getting in the way, but I want to have that little bit of protection. So how I do that is when I make it a little bit shorter so I'm not tripping on it. And so you can see I'm laying out the normal pattern piece right here, and I'm using a curtain for this that I just got from Goodwill. So I think $2 into this project. So I'm kind of just working with what I have. So we can see it's not quite wide enough to go the full length. So what I do is I just lay down a ruler. And so, because I know it's not going to be long enough, so I just go ahead and cut out starting from where that ruler spot is, and I cut it out just like normal and until we get to where the ruler is. So because I already made a mark, I just set my ruler back down where I stopped cutting, and then I make a little mark with my scissors. Then I go back and trace a line straight across so that I keep it straight all the way. And then I'll go back and cut along that line. So you can see how much length I'm actually taking off this cloak, because I don't want to be tripping on it. I don't want it to get stuck on anything, especially because we're running around in the woods a lot. So I just cut straight across from then, and that'll make up my 2 panels. So here's my next panels. So that's my front, I think. So what I do is I just take the same back piece and then I go back and trace where the ends of those are going to be, just so they end at the same place, so it's not like one side's significantly longer than the other. And then once I've made all my markings, I just go around and cut it like normal. I'm doing the same thing, so I'm taking the ruler across, and then I'm gonna go ahead and trace before I cut, because we know I can't cut straight lines. And those are the main panels of my cloak that I'm making. I do end up cutting one of the back panel, or the back panels, just so they have an extra opening in the back since I wear a backpack, but I didn't record that. Here's the hood, which I'm just cutting out normally, 2 instructions. I see I have a lot of this curtain left, so I do actually end up making a shirt out of it later. Yeah, so I'm just laying it out, laying over my hood pattern, just cutting out 2 mirrored. Normal stuff, normal sewing stuff. Should I pin things down? Yeah, probably. Will I? Never. So this is me outside. I'll have some better shots of the cloak afterwards, but because these are my cloaks and they're going to be the main source of keeping me dry since we were planning to have a lot of rain this weekend, I went in with a waterproofing tent spray a couple of times on both my cloaks and Kyle's, just to try to give us a little extra protection. For the most part, it did work. We ended up doing maybe 3 or 4 coats of it, and I ended up having to coat the inside and the outsides. And here's me testing it out with a little bit of water on it just to make sure, because I'd never used tent spray on fabric like this. So this is starting day 2, where I'm working on some more sewing projects. I'm working on 2 different tank tops, because I didn't have quite as many shirts as I wanted, so I kind of decided last minute I wanted these. I think this was the Thursday before I left. So for these, I just traced a tank top that I already had that I liked a lot. I cut it out. And then this is me just sewing the edges together. I don't have a serger or anything, so I always start by going through and zigzag stitching everything. Especially because it's not like I'm not going to be wearing these every single day, but I do want them to last. I don't want them to just fall apart right after I wash them. So yeah, this is just me going around through and sewing all my edges together. And here's a video of that top done. I did also make a red one, but I don't think I got any pictures while we were there. If I find some, I'll add it though. Here's us setting up our new tent. So this is a Northwest Territory cottage tent, which I believe is discontinued now. We got ours off of Marketplace. This is the only the second time we set it up, which I think we did pretty good. I think we set the whole thing up in maybe 20-25 minutes. So I'm pretty proud of us, and I think it looked really good, and we got a lot of compliments on it. And here's us setting up the inside. This is kind of a weird angle, so don't worry about it. But yeah, Kyle's just working on bringing everything in, and I'm working on setting up our bed. We were supposed to do a tour of it, but how we ended up setting it up, we put our air mattress on one side, which we just used a full-size air mattress, and then we had 2 4-foot folding tables, so one ended up being makeup, and one was just kind of to hold some things. We had an extra set of tables there. We really did not fill the space. We could definitely fit 4 more people in there comfortably. Then here's me just getting ready, putting my makeup on and everything. I'm gonna record a more thorough one at some point, but I glue on my horns first. I use spirit gum to glue them on first, and then I go back around them with liquid Tex, and they're made of foam clay. I use the Mayron cream sticks for my orange, and then the Coulter palette. Then I also used a lipstick from NYX from their lingerie palette, which is this super bright orange. Okay, I realized I didn't film an outro, which I didn't film an intro either, so I don't know why I filmed an outro. But anyway, so here it is. Thank you for watching. This was our prep for Dawnlands. We are going to hopefully come out with podcast style, just talking about the events that we did there. I have like a whole list of stuff I want to do related to LARPing, including a full-on makeup tutorial. So, and what to pack, because that was a huge thing when we first started. So hopefully there'll be a lot more stuff coming out soon. This was kind of a chaotic video, just full of like what I did on the way. And of course it wasn't complete, so since I cut some things out and then showed other things on video, because it was just kind of a mad dash to get ready for LARPing, because I think I did the majority of this 2 days before. So yeah, but thank you for tuning in, and keep an eye out for some more videos covering LARP content if you're interested.